Hello everyone and thanks for hanging out with me. This is now the last video of the Hyundai Kona electric videos. We finally made it. 27 videos, that's a lot. And today I want to tell you what I liked about the car, what I think could be better, and things that I disliked about the car. And of course this is my opinion. Other people will have different opinions. I just tell you what I noticed about the car. And also, I do not own the car. I only had the car for 4 days. I was driving 370 kilometers. And this January and in October, I was driving the car 2 times for around an hour. So, of course, I'm not an expert, but I know what I like and don't like about the car. So let's talk about it. I like the drive quality. Sitting in that car, it's very possible it's just because of my height and size and whatever, but the seats were just amazingly comfortable. They were warm, yes, because they touched me everywhere, but it was very comfortable to drive, the ride quality, damping of the road, noise from outside, how the car is driving was just a lot of fun, and it was very comfortable, very quiet. I just liked it. It was amazing to drive long distance. It was a very nice feel to it. The power. Oh my god, this car has power. There will be a negative point about the power, but overall when you want to overtake, pass a car or accelerate, it's just a lot of power. 150 kilowatt, so 204 horsepower, and electric power. And in sport mode, when the torque is right there, it's a lot of power, and it makes you feel good when you're driving SUV type car, and it can accelerate 7 seconds from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour. It feels very nice and makes you feel you have power when you need it to, like I said, to pass a car or something like this. It was a lot of fun. The efficiency of the car was also amazing, especially of course in the summer, like with all electric cars. But when I drove it in October and I was driving really fast and accelerating hard and driving 100 kilometers an hour or something like this, efficiency was still, so the consumption was still amazing. And the heat, when you preheat the car, is also, even especially with driver only, it makes a lot of fun. Only when you really go up to very high speeds, then on highways 130 or above, then consumption is not that good anymore. The charging in summer, and that's important because there will be a negative point later, like same with the power. So charging in summer up to 77, but normally 73, 74 kilowatt. And on a 50 kilowatt charger, you get 45, and it goes up very high, where other cars throttle down very early and then go down to 10 kilowatt or 15. This just goes up very high, so to 80-90%. Even then you can have above 20 kilowatt of charging. It's just great. When it comes to charging, what's a great feature is that your charging port is in the front. It's just so easy to plug in. So many cars with the Ioniq, Tesla, when they have it on the side, a lot of times you have to back up into the charging, and electric cars these days, the view outside is not that great in the back, so you have to use the reverse camera, and you're like, and they just drive, and it's always easier to go forward into a parking spot, and it's just there, and the cable doesn't have to be very long. It's just very easy. I love that. The driver only climate setting is just awesome. The same as in the Ioniq. You press that switch, and then heating or AC in the summer is reduced to the area where you sit. So it's just for the driver. So nothing else will be cool to heat it up. So you save a lot of energy, and that's great when you don't need it. When you're alone in the car and drive long distance, then it makes a big impact, and it's a great feature. I don't know why not every electric car has that. I love that in addition to your adaptive cruise control, where the car measures with radar the distance to your front car and changes the speed, so you don't have to change your speed in your cruise control by itself. Adaptive cruise control really works great, but also if you don't want that for some reason, you can switch to a normal cruise control and just drive the speed that you selected, even though there is a car in front of you. And that, for me, that's great for highway driving, because on German highways, you cannot go to the left lane amazingly early because you're blocking the people coming from behind you. So you go pretty close to the car in front of you and then you pass it. And with adaptive cruise control, you can't do that. The car will slow down. And that's it. So you have to turn off cruise control, get in the left lane and then turn it back on. It's a bit annoying. So it's great that it has that feature. It's not normal these days. I love the instrumentation in the car with the instrument cluster and the ABN, so the middle screen in there, touch screen. It just shows you a lot of information. You can change a lot what you want to see. You see the charging speed, of course, which is a great feature that not a lot of EVs have. I don't know why, but I'm guessing it's coming now because people want to know. And in the ABN, you have the screen where you see the instant consumption, like with the ionic, of the motor, of the climate, of your battery care, if the battery is being heated or cooled down, what power that takes. So it's great information and it makes a lot of fun to drive. It's a bit geeky, yes, and nerdy, but it's just nice to have all that information and to see it, and it looks good. I like it a lot. The Kona just has a lot of good EV functions. You have a good charging speed, you have different regen levels that you can select with your steering wheel pedals there, pedal shifter thingies on the steering wheel. So from 0, from coasting to 3, very strong. And then when you hold the left pedal, then you get regen boost. It gives you even more regen and it gets you to a stop. And it's great that you have charging limit, so you can set the charging limit really down to 10%. That's great. The battery is being actively cooled, just not by fan, so with a fluid and heat it up in the winter. A lot of EV functions that are very nice and good to have and important. And the last point that I like is just the whole car itself, with all the features, with everything that it has. I think nowadays it is a great package for the price. You get a big battery, good efficiency, really good range, good charging speed, a lot of features, like I said, and this for a price that is okay for an electric car. Yes, in the future it will be different, but right now I think this is the best for that money. And now let's talk about a few things that I think could be better. So, for example, the charge port in winter. So it's in the front, of course, but when it's snowing and you're driving, that the snow gets into the charge port, so it's not sealed properly. They want to fix this, Hyundai, they said, and that's good. But it can be annoying because sometimes you cannot open the charge port. I've seen a few videos where this is a problem in winter regions. I was not the biggest fan of how the gas pedal, accelerator pedal is reacting from the start. When you're driving and you move the pedal, so to accelerate or to decelerate, it reacts amazing. It's exactly like I want to. But in the beginning, so when you're on a standstill, at least it was with the car that I have, it doesn't react the same way as when you're already driving. It feels like you pressing on a pedal and nothing happens, then just a tiny bit and a tiny bit, and suddenly something happens. And when you are driving, it doesn't matter with the drive mode, by the way, but when you are driving, I don't know, 50, and you move it a bit, you accelerate. It instantly something is happening. But in the start, it feels like, come on, go, what's happening, and then of course you press a bit harder, and then it's I don't know. I think other electric cars manage that a bit better, a bit smoother to go from the standstill. The zooming and moving around in the map in the middle, yes, they wanted to save money, so it's not a touchscreen way like with your phone or your tablet. You can zoom around and move, and it doesn't react in a very good way. And sometimes you think, yeah, rather use Google Maps on my phone than this. The positioning of the 12-volt outlet and the second USB to charge something underneath the middle console, it just... when you're sitting in the car, it's very hard to get there. It's just very hard to plug something in. And it's not about that you have to do it while you're driving. Of course not. You're just sitting in the car and yes, I'm sitting here, let's plug something into the 12-volt outlet. And it's, oh my God, how do I do this? And it's better to get out and do it from outside. Yes, it's a bit cleaner in there then, and you have a bit of space to put stuff down there, but I know it's not perfect. Of course, I'm not a fan of the whole animation and beeping thing that cars now have. It's a thing that especially electric cars have. But every time you start the car, you get this animation and this chime. And what I extremely dislike, maybe I should have put it on the dislike thing, is that when we start the car and you don't have your seatbelt on yet, then it beeps. When you have your seatbelt on before you start, nothing beeps. But when not, it's ding, 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 3, 4, 5 times, I can't remember. Why? Why not start the beeping when I put it in gear or something and I don't have the seatbelt? No, when you start the car. Another thing is that AC charging, that it's only 7 kilowatt, not 22. They could be better, but I can live with it. What I find a bit, saving cost again, they include a cable in the style and in the premium version, but that version can only take 20 amps or 24, what was it? I can't remember, I think 20 amps. And then you're limited to charging to 4.6 kilowatt, not 7 kilowatt that the car could do just because of the cable. So you buy another cable, you get a cable for free, but if they would have spent, I don't know, 20 euros more, then you could have had the good cable that you already wanted. What I just said in the likes with the Regen levels, I find it a bit, it could be better that Regen boost is just another level. So why not is 1, 2, 3 not the Regen boost? That means when you put it to that, you have a sort of a one pedal driving that you will get to a stop without having to press and hold this button. That would have been just nicer. And now let's come to the dislikes, things that I really don't like about the Kona Electric. And the first thing is that they cheaped out, like with the e-Niro, I-Pace and other cars, the so-called cold gate or whatever, that winter charging is slow, and I mean really slow. I even experienced it myself when the battery is cold, and I'm not talking about minus 10 or something, I'm talking about 5 degrees, so under 10, or let's say under 6, 7 degrees, something like this. Then charging on a DC fast charger is at around 30, doesn't even reach 40 kilowatt. It happened a few times. I don't know. I mean, I thought winter mode, that's what it's for, that you heat up the battery so you get faster charging in the winter. But I saw a chart, some people say it's starting at minus 10, but I saw a chart at one point that says it's starting to heat up the battery at 0 degrees. So I don't know what's real. Like I said, when I had the car, it was around 0 to 4 or 5 degrees in those 4 days, and I never saw anything happening with heating the battery. The reset after you start and stop the car, it's just, for me, a lot of people don't care, but I do. When I have many settings that I can use in the car, when I get into the car, I want those settings to be the same as when I left the car. And this is very strongly, you go shopping or something, you have your seat heater on, you have everything set the way that you want to, get out of the car, come 5 minutes later back into the car, and what happens then? The FES is on. Every time you start the car, FES is on. Virtual Engine System sound. The LKA is always on. You can select if it just warns you or if it steers for you, but it's always on when you start the car. Seat heaters off. Even when you had it on when you turned off the car, it's still on. will still other way around. So you had to had them on when you turn off the car. When you get back in the car, turn it on, seat heater is off. The same with the steering wheel heater is off. Climate will stay the same, that's good. And it's good that they stay in the same drive mode, in the same region levels, that you can save the region levels. I mean, that's already good, but still, it's a lot of, every time you get in the car, ding, 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 a lot of switching. Why doesn't it stay the same? And of course, the head-up display. When you have the head-up display on and turn off the car, head-up display goes down. Get into the car, turn it off, head-up display goes up. Every time. Next thing, something I'm very disappointed and I dislike very strongly, that you cannot preheat without being plugged in. It's a 64 kilowatt hour battery. Most likely a 70 kilowatt, and you just have 64 to drive. Why can you not preheat the car when it's not plugged in? I don't get it. Yes, it would be nice if the whole car would have app support and always connected to the internet like the Kona has in Korea. It would be nice that you can preheat it from home or from work. I understand it is saving money, yes, but it doesn't make any sense that I cannot preheat it outside on a parking lot somewhere without being plugged in. That would be nice. The same for keeping the climate on. I'm in the car, there's someone else in the car, I get out, it's cold, I want the heat to be on. So what do I have to do? I have to keep the key in the car. What if I have kids or a dog in the car? I want the heat to keep running. It's possible. It's a big battery. It's not that big of a deal to keep it on for an hour. Nobody would do that for an hour, but it still has no impact on the consumption. If heat will run for an hour, it's 1 kilowatt, or maybe let's say 2. It's still okay. Why? I'm a bit disappointed that there's no real trip B. You have the drive info, but it resets by itself when you have the car in park for 4 hours, but it doesn't. But you cannot reset it by yourself. So what is this? We're in 2019 and you don't have trip A and trip B. It's very disappointing. The thing about the torque, what I said before about the power, I think that they balanced the car wrong or the tires are just wrong. But I just notice in the winter with winter tires in sport mode, you cannot put the power down when you accelerate full flat out from a standstill. It's not possible. When it's wet, of course not, but even if it's dry with the winter tires, I couldn't do it one time. Even a few times, you saw it in my videos when I was driving 70 and gave a full power, then I had wheel spin. Even in eco mode at some point, and even of course in comfort. And when I was driving in October and it was warm, around 20 degrees, and I had summer tires on, even then a few times I had spinning wheels. It's fun at the first time, but after 3 times you're like, no, I want to put the power down and drive. I want to pass this car or experience the acceleration, not spinning wheels. So even, I don't know what it is, if it's the balance or if they should have reduced the torque in the beginning a bit, but like I said, at some point it gets annoying with the wheel spin. Okay, that's it. Thank you much for watching. Have a great day. Take care. Bye.